Concepts. My name is David Sullivan, and I am your instructor for this fall of 2022. Couple things out of the outset. First of all, I'm not a professional YouTube producer. I'm not a content creator, so there are going to be lots of uhs and stutters and going back. I am trying to do this all in one take as opposed to editing, so bear with me. I am trying to cut down on my uhs and extraneous sounds, so like I said, bear with me. First thing out of the gate, mentioned in the announcements, there is a link to a survey I needed from you all to determine how this class is going to run later in the session. This is a 9-week condensed course. We're condensing 18 weeks of content down into 9. And the way the calendar works, normally the way we like to do this is to do our 8 weeks, get our content into 8 weeks, so that the final week you can use to catch up or deal with anything that you might be running late on. It would also allow, if you have your content done, where you can take that time to focus on finals if you have those in other classes. So that is the traditional way of doing things. But the way the calendar works out this particular time around, if we do that, that means giving you guys assignments during the week of Thanksgiving. I can go either way. It works for me either way. What I need to know from you is which way is going to work better for you, to not have assignments the week of Thanksgiving and therefore not have that extra week at the end of the course to catch up, or have our assignments the week of Thanksgiving, and then you will have that final week to do any catch-ups. There is a link to a survey on the initial announcements page. I believe I also included it in the modules. So please give me your opinion. The majority is going to rule on this particular case. It's the easiest way for me to do this. So please give me your opinion. Excuse me. I'll announce to everybody on how the schedule is going to go next week when I do next week's video. I am going to be trying to do videos to accompany all the lectures that come in here through the book and through the written modules. So please make sure to look for them. I will be going over PowerPoint presentations and that go along with our content. Also stuff that I know of from the software, some tricks and turns. And also I'll try and make it relatable to you, tell you how it actually works in industry, how things are used in industry, to make things a little bit more relatable. So there will be a video every week. Anything I do of an announcement type of nature, I will do in the video, as well as doing an announcement for the class. So be prepared there. See, now normally I record here from home. This is my office, cluttered as it is. And I do apologize if the videos aren't really professional. So it is what it is. You will hear background noises. My son is in the room next to me, where he will occasionally be gaming, and sometimes the bass comes through the window. I mean, not through the mirror, through the door, the wall. You may see my wife pop her head in through the door. Most likely, you will see a dog or two pop their head in the door, especially Max, my German Shepherd. He will pop in all the time wanting pets and kisses because he wants to know who in the world I'm talking to, and if it's not him. So, sorry for the interruptions. Again, this is not I'm not a content creator. So let's get going. Again, this is Computer Concepts. Thank you for being here. This is an asynchronous class, which means everything will be posted online for you to do at your convenience. So we won't be doing a whole lot of one-on-one. If it comes down to you needing one-on-one help, I will cover over that in a little bit. I do everything through Calendly. We'll set up an appointment, and I can set up a Zoom session for you, and we can do one-on-ones. I answer stuff through email all the time if that is easier for you. So we have some variety. But so who am I? I have been involved in IT since the mid-'80s. My brother is a computer programmer, and we got into doing programming way back in the day. I've worked jobs everywhere from digging ditches and picking fruit all the way up to management level positions in multi-million-dollar companies, as well as working for government and teaching some college courses. I've been teaching for about 6 years now. Both at mostly at the secondary level, junior high and high schools. I was in IT prior to that for about just shy of 20 years, and then was in business management prior to that. Basically, I left those careers to basically and train the next level of IT folks and people who need IT and technology related skills. So this is what I'm doing because I want to do it. I'm currently teaching at LeGrand High School, where I am building a computer science program. Where currently we're focusing on programming with. So I teach a course in Python. I teach a foundations course. Next year I'll be teaching a couple of AP courses. So we have a good program going on there. Hopefully I'll also be able to do some CTE courses, which are the practical hands-on type stuff. So we'll be doing networking and system design and building them and cybersecurity, all positions where you can get a job right out of after taking courses and getting certifications. That's the focus there. We'll be getting certifications through CompTIA or Cisco, depending on what you go through. What are the other things I do? I am an avid gamer. No, you will not get my gamer tag because I don't like getting beat by people I know. But I am also a licensed drone pilot. I am the esports coach for LeGrand. We have an active esports program and currently competing in a couple of different leagues. But basically, I'm King Geek of LeGrand High School. So that's what you can know me for. Prior to that, I taught at Tranquility High School, basically doing the same thing, setting up a computer science program there. Before that, I was the IT guy. I went there, did everything from running cables under computers and building computers to networking and cybersecurity and consultation. Primarily doing what's referred to as a systems analyst or as a business systems analyst, applying what I knew of technology to solve problems. I have a bachelor's degree in information technology. I also have a master's degree in business administration. So I have a pretty wide and varied career, wide and varied. Hopefully I'll be able to help you leverage that knowledge into helping you. Excuse me. Okay, so let's get some mechanics going on here. We'll be in the first chapter. We're going to be discussing, and I'll do this as part of another video, is discussing the role of IT in modern society and how it all works. Getting some details on the course, and of course, this is all going to be in the syllabus. I also recommend that. You watch the videos as they get posted. It'll give you a little bit more insight. Contacting me, single best way to contact me is via email. Email is what I grew up on. Email is kind of my memory. It helps me do everything. I do set up a Slack channel for these classes. Excuse me. Slack, for those of you who don't use it or know of it, is basically Discord for the professional world. So I will set up a Slack channel there for you to be able to contact me. If you need me to do some one-on-one, do recommend you set up an appointment through Calendly. I am currently teaching, which means my availability throughout the day is pretty spotty. And so your best bet of setting up an appointment is after about 6 o'clock. Again, I got my courses. Got the courses I'm teaching during the day. Then the esports until about 5. It takes me about a half hour to get home. Got to cook dinner, that kind of thing. So usually set up an appointment after 6, or we can converse over email. I do have time during the day where I can do email. It's easier for me to fire off a quick message there than setting up an actual meeting. And there'll be instructions on how to do that in the syllabus as well. Excuse me. I will post a Google Voice number. Not that I'm going to answer it because none of you are going to be in my contacts, and I don't respond to phone calls that come when I don't know who's there. But if you want to use my phone number, go ahead and call me on Google Voice. you can leave me a voicemail message and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Usually, any of this stuff, any of these ways of contacting me, I will normally get back to you within 24 hours. Usually much less than that, but please reach out if you have any questions. You can also send text messages to that number if it helps. So I'm going off of my notes here, so forgive me if I stutter a little bit. Again, not professional content creator. Just want to make sure I got everything available. I am available again for Calendly or questions on the weekends. Generally speaking, my response time is going to be a little bit slower on the weekends, just because I got stuff to do too. So bear with me on that. Excuse me. Let's see, go through my list here. Okay, so as we mentioned, this is a 9-week course that covers 18 weeks of material. So you're gonna need to make a commitment of time. In my opinion, the work isn't overly difficult, but there is a good chunk of it that you need to get done. The way the course works, basically, you should look at doing between all the different work, about 2 hours of homework for every hour of lecture, which is kind of the rule of thumb. So basically, you're looking at 6 to 12 weeks of work, 6 to 12 hours of work per week between the reading and the activities. I know that's a big window, but for some people, some aspects of this are going to be very easy. Some they're going to be a little bit more difficult. This is college level work, guys. So there is a commitment of time. Please be sure you are able to meet that commitment. Some of this work, again, you can probably get knocked out in relatively short periods, but if it's something you haven't run across before, it's going to require some more time on your part. Generally speaking, you're going to have 2 assignments, sometimes 3, and a quiz every week. The way that's going to look is that you will have a discussion question, which is basic. And to do your discussion questions, you're going to be broken into 2 groups. This first week, and the groups have already been determined. It was by random determination. This first week, we start on Monday. Group 1 is going to need to have their portion of the assignment done by Wednesday. And what that is basically, as is described in the discussion, I post a question. You are to go and find a video that talks about that discussion, that question, discusses the topic of the question, and then give your commentary on that video. So that has to be done by Wednesday midnight. That is a hard date. You need to have that done on Wednesdays. If it's not done on Wednesday, it is marked late. The reason for that, excuse me, is that the second half of the class, group 2, needs to respond to what you're posting. So group 2, you won't have anything to do until group 1 finishes their assignments in that particular assignment of the discussion question. And then you have until Sunday to post your response to what group 1 initially posted on Wednesday. And your comment will be is to watch the video and comment on their read on the video. And keep in mind, yeah, I agree is not a comment. You need to give me a good solid, at least a solid paragraph of your opinion. Again, college level work, guys. Saying, "Yup, that's good stuff," isn't going to cut it. So those you're going to have weekly, and again, those are hard deadlines. Wednesday for the initial posting and discussion. Sunday for the response. Those, and again, we'll have a different one of those every week, and the groups are going to switch. So this week, group 1 will be doing the initial posting. Group 2 will respond. Next week, group 2 will be doing the initial posting, due by Wednesday midnight, and then group 1 will respond. And we will flip backwards and forwards as we go through the course. So that will balance everything out. Then you will also have, we'll call them projects, at least 1 project, sometimes 2. And those are due before the end of the course. I recommend you do them weekly as they are assigned. Just because if you don't, well, we're going to move on to a new subject. You're going to be dealing with a backlog and doing even more reading to catch up. These week to week don't really build on each other all that much, but they do to a slight degree. So you're going to want to have you're going to want to try and keep up. Don't let yourself get buried. However, if something comes up and you're not able to do that week's assignments, you can still turn them in, no penalty, up until the week before the week before we close, till the end of week 8, unless we adjust that by with our Thanksgiving question. So again, we'll normally want to have everything done so you can have everything wrapped up before that last week. That is week 8 is the last week I will give you lecture, unless we change things due to Thanksgiving based on our vote. So you can turn in work late. That work, the project level work, you can turn in late. However, the discussion questions you cannot. So please make sure you are familiar with you're on time with those discussion questions, because other people are relying on you to get your work done on time. Okay. Just trying to think what else we have here. I'm reading off of notes of what I said last year, so in case you're wondering. So some of the things we're going to be looking at, we will be looking at technology from what's referred to as the 30,000 foot level, how it's used in technology, how it's used in society, how it's used in business. One of my jobs, probably the coolest job I've ever had, was I was as a systems analyst. I was in an emerging technologies department, which basically meant that I was looking at all the new and upcoming technologies and figuring out if we could use them and how to implement them in our work areas. So that is a portion of my worldview. It is always looking at new technologies, seeing where they can be used, and not just relying on what is already existing. So yeah, I got to play with technology toys all day and figuring out what they could be used. So one of the questions I get is, why are we using the software we are using in particular? And I mentioned in our introduction video, and it's in the syllabus as well, one of the things you are going to need to do, in addition to getting the book, which we'll go over in a second here, is to install Microsoft Office. In Microsoft Office, you will see a link to, on the left-hand side of your menu, to Office 365. Office 365 is a web-based program. However, you can download the latest version of Office to install on your system if you have a Windows-based PC, if you have a Windows-based laptop, if you have a Mac. If you are working on a mobile device or a Chromebook, you're not going to be able to install. You're going to have to use the web version, which works for most things. And we'll be working for most of the things in this class, just about all of them, as a matter of fact. But if you can download it, I do recommend that you do, for a number of reasons. One, that extra 10% comes in handy. There are some tips and tricks I'm going to leave every once in a while that will use some of those. Also, especially if you live in an area where it has spotty or bad internet, having it installed on your system will allow you to function without the internet. So that is something that will come in handy. So if you are able to, if your system will accommodate it, please install Microsoft Office. It is free. It comes with your tuition to West Hills. So please go ahead and use it, or create your Office 365 account and use the web version. Either way works just fine. One of the things, the question that came up last year, in where I started that conversation, was why are we using Office? Why aren't we just using Google? Everyone's using Google Docs and Sheets and all the rest of that. And the answer to that question is really simple. Google Docs and Sheets and all the rest of that follow Microsoft's example. But Microsoft is the standard in business. It is the standard that everyone bases their Office products on. Google Docs, Google Sheets, and everything, they run like Office. It's just that Office does it better. Sorry, it's just the case. there's a reason that a $300 product is still the number one office software being used, and you're comparing it to Google products, which are free. Okay, it's still the standard. So it is important that we stick along with that. So I do recommend you do that. If you go through the syllabus, there is a required text for this class. We do have required readings. Do look at the text. If you can, I would recommend renting it or finding it through library resources as opposed to buying it. It's not an inexpensive book. Last I checked, I think it was $150. Sorry, guys, I don't choose the book. I just I have to go with what the school tells me, and this is the book. But you can rent it, I believe, from Wiley, I think it is, for about $40. So much better for you to rent it than to purchase it. I don't see it being a book that you're going to be needing beyond this class. So that is one of the reasons I recommend that you rent it as opposed to purchasing it. Skipping through my notes. So again, the courses that with the assignments we have will be largely doing projects in Office. We have some other things that we will be doing based on the other subjects we'll be running in through networking and system design and that sort of thing. But a good chunk of this class is going to be Office. So do recommend you make sure those are done. And again, you will have those will be the flexible assignments from week to week. Standard grading for this class follows the standard grades of 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D. So below 60% is an F. So these are all things you should be used to by now. If you do the assignments and fulfill the requirements, it's not difficult to get a C in this class. This is not a difficult class to pass as long as you are paying attention and doing the work. The work, again, as I mentioned, is not, in my opinion, overly difficult. There is, however, a commitment to the level of work that you're going to be getting because we are a condensed class. This week is a little hectic because we have two sets of assignments to do. One are the introductions, which is standard for every class. I need to make sure you've read the syllabus. We're going to have our first set of discussions to make sure you've got a grip on Canvas. Those are all worth points. So those are what I refer to as your week 0 assignments. And then you also have the week 1 assignments where we're starting to get into the meat of what we're going to be doing. So you need to get your hands on the book as soon as possible. You need to get and jump in these discussion questions. Again, group 1, you have your first assignment due on Wednesday. If you are not intending on completing the class, or if you're going to drop, you need to pay attention to the calendar. This is a college level course, and this is an adult thing. I know some of you are here on dual enrollment. It is your responsibility to drop this class. If you find you can't do it, if you find the commitment is not what you can make, you're overburdened, whatever, you need to drop this course. And you need to pay attention. The dates for dropping are posted in the syllabus. Please take a look. If I have to drop you because of inactivity or because you didn't do anything by the drop date, and then I am told I have to drop you, that's not going to look good on your transcript. And while you can retake a course in college, it still shows you had to take it again. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you cannot make the commitment to finish it, that you drop the class on your own. You don't want me dropping it for you. That's not a good thing. Excuse me. If you don't log in for more than 10 days, I am told I'm supposed to drop you. So make sure you are logging in regularly, checking your work at least once a week. Now, as far as decorum in the classroom, keep in mind, especially in the discussion questions, that we're all humans. I'm making errors as we go along here. Again, I'm not smooth and polished, and I will go off on asides every once in a while because I bring in extraneous details. So please keep in mind that we are all human. We are interacting online predominantly via written word, and not everybody puts the same emphasis on words that you may have intended. So if you see something that is worded oddly or that you might take issue with, try and reread it and put it in another voice. That maybe maybe if a person said something that offended you, they didn't mean to offend it. They didn't mean to say it in the way that you're interpreting it. So reread, take some patience, and realize that we are talking about people who are typing, and you don't get to hear their voice. Do recommend, this is a public forum. Okay, there are over 60 people in this class. They are from around all over the valley. Don't overshare. Okay, any information you're going to put out there is going to be shared with people you do not know, and you need to make sure that you are protecting your own privacy and your own safety. Please make sure you read through the college's code of conduct, and also to check and see what the campus services on support are, and that if you need to have access to these things, you can get all of that through the syllabus. So again, the first week assignments, you're going to be having do module 0. It includes the schedule. So take a look at the schedule, when things are due, how things are going to go. Again, depending on how our survey comes out, that schedule may adjust. The first assignment is basically, let me know something about you, because I kind of like to know who I'm talking to. And then you'll be digging into module 1, which is, again, the first discussion questions we're going to be dealing with, and making sure that everyone kind of gets the idea of how this works. We will get this all worked out together. Okay. But there's going to be a slight learning curve, but don't fret, don't worry. We will all get through it together, and hopefully we can get all the bugs shaken out in the first week. And then there will be another video following this where I will be posting more directed video content based on our assignments for week 1. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Best way is via email, West Hills Community College email. And if you need to have a one-on-one, please set up an appointment in Calendly and we can meet via Zoom. Hopefully everything will go smoothly. I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll continue to have a good week. And then I will see you on the next video. Well,